Election night coverage
This
is
is
back.
an NBC News special, Election Night 2025.
I can literally see this from my hotel room.
Live from NBC News election headquarters in New York, here's Tom Llamas.
And good evening. Tonight,
Is the VA Dem good? No, but it doesn't matter. It's the best you're gonna get. Spanberger is a CIA. She's ass. She's a centrist Democrat from CIA.
races.
She's a governor, so like, the position is basically forced to do right by your constituents. Like, the governorship is a position where like it doesn't even matter if you have like oftentimes when you have like a Republican in charge, like they can be a beloved governor by a blue state. That's why you get like a red governor in a blue state sometimes, right? And you get a blue governor in a red state sometimes, because like the gubernatorial position is entirely determined on like what you do for your constituents. That's how you keep power in that seat. So in spite of her like centrist positioning and the fact that she is and the fact that she's a CIA agent, like it doesn't really matter all that much. Tell that to Ron DeSantis. He hasn't done a goddamn thing for Floridians. Yes, a governor can be horrifying as well. I'm just saying that I don't think Spanberger is going to do anything. I don't think Spanberger is going to do anything that's like that is all that. Like, she's going to play the party line. Bro, what the fuck are you talking about? Watch the news, newsman. Brother, I am literally a news commentary person, and I'm offering you commentary as the vote tabulations are coming in. And I assume people will already call it for Spanberger pretty shortly, even though there's only 1%, less than 1% of votes that have been counted in Virginia. This is awesome. I care more about the Jay Jones Attorney General race than I do about Spanberger. Eric Doherty, okay, these Republican assholes are losing their minds. Look at this. Pro-killing Republicans Jay Jones wins 55% of women in the Virginia Attorney General's race per preliminary CNN exit poll. Now, exit polls are not the most reliable. While Jason Miyares, the Republican, receives 43%. Men, 58% Miyares, 40% Jones. Absolutely unbelievable. Women of Virginia. And the only reason why I want to see what the Attorney General one looks like is because there was a lot of heat on Jay Jones because they revealed his text messages. Okay? They released Jay Jones's text messages, and it turns out he says some crazy shit. Okay? He says some crazy shit. It's not even a legalized comedy situation. Okay? He says some shit. He was very graphic in what he thought should be done to pro-gun Republicans and their immediate family members. Okay? It is a test for dark woke. Yeah, when the group chat gets leaked, Jay Jones is arrest me, officer. Bro, it's so funny as a VA resident law. Yeah. Was it post Sandy Hook? In Virginia, Democratic Attorney General candidate Jay Jones spent the final weeks of the campaign under intense criticism for the text he sent in 2022 that suggested a Republican in the state House of Delegates should face bullets to the head. That's not the only thing he said. In a private correspondence, Jay Jones was talking about how angry he was about pro-gun Republicans, where he didn't just say that they deserve bullets to the head. He said their children also deserve it. He was pretty crazy. Now, it was an Office reference, yes. It was the classic, like, if you're in a room with, no. It wasn't like a direct threat, even though it reads like that. But I think the continuation made it a lot worse. No, he didn't say the kids should die. He just called them little fascists. I don't know what I forget. I forget what his exact words were, but I think it was Pol Pot. Yeah, he said in a room with the Republican in the state house delegates, whatever the guy's name was, I forget, and Pol Pot and Adolf Hitler and two bullets, he would put two bullets in the head of the Republican. I think it's really fucked up he said that, for the record. I think I think I disavow. And I think that is unacceptable and inappropriate. And yes, that is an office reference, but I disavow and I condemn. I want you to understand I condemn. I think Hitler deserves the bullet, and so does Pol Pot. Those are definitely far worse figures, right? But it's very clearly an exaggeration. Not that it matters, because in spite of that, I was... Yeah, Ross Douthat is listening right now. Ross Douthat is tuning into my election night coverage and hearing this and going, I see, we got him. I should have grilled him harder. Arrest him, Mr. President, please. Come on, Ross. I'm just analyzing. I'm just analyzing the situation. Okay, I'm not making a moral. I don't agree with that kind of language. I disavow it. I abhor violence. Okay, hold on now, Ross. But I do think it's interesting. That the liberal base of voters looked at that kind of language and thought, I don't care. Or at least that was my suspicion, because I think it's a healthy measuring stick of where the broader liberal base, the vote blue no matter who base, is at. First polls reporting Jay Jones is leading Spamberger. No, this is just the first. This is 1%. That doesn't mean anything, but that's crazy. So you mean to tell me Virginia were like, oh, that's what he said in private correspondence? Yeah, I like him more than the governor? Like, as in, that's what? While I abhor and disavow the violent language of Jay Jones, I cannot help but reflect on where the electorate is at and how far removed the establishment Democrats are from where the average liberal is. I think, depending on how things go, I mean, this is 1% of the report, man. I know. It's 1% of the report. It means nothing. But it's the same 1%. As in, it's the same voters that are being tabulated right now that swung more for Jay Jones than they did for Abigail Spanberger. That is crazy. Abigail is at 56.4%. Jay Jones is at 57. Okay, that's, these are maybe not the down ballot voters. They're not they're not voting for the attorney general, but at least the ones that are. Because see, it's like 29,000 versus 34,000. Different counties reporting. Why would it be different counties reporting? What? No, it's the same ballots. No, that's not how that works. What do you think is going on? Where they're looking at the ballot and they're closing their eyes? These are people in Norfolk people in Norfolk are only counting. Wait, are they counting the races separately? What? No, that's not how that. What the I'm getting duped by my own chat. Why am I listening to my chat? How would that work? No, it's the same ballot that they're looking at from the same counties. But the reason why the numbers are different is because not everyone that votes for the governor is going to vote down ballot. That's normal. Some people just leave it blank. Some people don't know who the attorney general is. That's it. That's the reason why the numbers are different. That's normal. That always happens. I do think it's interesting that Jay Jones, however, is getting a higher percentage of those who did vote. Like, Jay Jones is leading Spanberger in percentage. Just joining now, but over 10. Oh, that's right. VA also has a ton of federal workers. Not over 10% of Virginia workers haven't gotten paid in a month because of the Republican shutdown. No one I know gives a shit about some text other than it being almost disqualifyingly stupid to have sent them to a member of the opposition party. Yeah, that was pretty crazy. That is what makes it even funnier, that he literally sent those text messages to a Republican, right? That is wrong. What is wrong? No, you can have different party officials in VA. Why would the total counts between the two be so different then? The total counts between the two are different because the top of the ticket is the governor. This is a gubernatorial race. Okay? A lot of people, first of all, never try to make sense of the average American voter. Secondly, even if you were to try to make sense of the average voter, remember that some people just go in and go, okay, I'm voting for the governor, and that's it. I don't know who the attorney general is. I don't know what the attorney general does. I don't give a shit. Okay? By and large, most people just go, they down ballot vote. They're like straight ticket Dems, straight ticket Republicans. That's the largest chunk of those who do go out and vote. Okay? But most people are just going in for the governor. So they just vote for the governor and then they move on. Okay? Oh, it's getting closer for Jay Jones. All right, so I think Spanberger is probably going to get called. VA election called by Decision Desk. Decision Desk headquarters projects Abigail Spanberger to win the Virginia governor election, and it seems like the attorney general one will be a little bit closer. My dad doesn't know people on the ticket, and it doesn't say which party he goes by, how much he likes the name for a baby. That's awesome. Well, I'm glad he's engaging in a civic duty. Damn, they called it a 2%? Yes. Okay. We're going to run my favorite thing that we do every night of every election. Welcome back to Hasan Explains Projections. Okay? Now, all the votes are not going to be counted on election night. As a matter of fact, sometimes, depending on which state you're in, it takes months. Okay? But in order to figure out who won, what these guys do, what the news media desks do, is projections, okay? When the decision desk, for example, calls it for Abigail Spanberger, that's actually a projected winner of the race. Now, how do they do this? Well, it's because they have voter performance, right? They have polls that they're taking a look at in the lead up to the election, and they're looking at past voter performance in every single district, right? Because the reality of the matter is, if the performance that from the 1% of votes that they've looked at is similar to past performance, then they can issue a projection. And usually they're right. Very, very rarely are they actually wrong in the projections, and they have to issue a correction. But that's not how it goes, right? I'm describing basically how statistics work, but this is how they do it. Okay? So, of course, they haven't counted all the votes yet, but they can project the winner off of past performance and off of the limited number. Hold on, sorry. Off of a limited number of votes that they've counted already. What is this holy ratio? This is why he lost. Oh, it's not a holy ratio. It's a 10K to her 6K. But it is true. That is why she lost. Jay Jones's performance has plummeted. It's now neck and neck. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no. Jason Miyares has actually cut over Jay Jones so far. And he's now ahead by 1,029 votes. But you just said polling isn't reliable? No, chatter. They're looking at not just polling, but they're looking at past performance. Like, as in how... what percentage of voters voted, like previous actual fully completed tabulations, and matching that up against the polling to see the veracity of the current polls. Also, I said exit polls are and do not actually show you a full comprehensive vision of how voters are going to swing. Stop the steal, I say, for the Jay Jones advocates. The liberal tears are going to taste delicious. Wait, what? Yeah, chatters don't understand. Exit polling is just voters who choose the yap to reporters. Actual polling uses objective data, not opt-in type A yappers as the baseline. Jay Jones school walkout tomorrow. Do the amendments still get delivered under Sharia law? I voted for Mayor Adams and am afraid. Well, Mayor Adams was on the ballot. So, Connor eats pants. You were correct to vote for him. He is the true mayor for Istanbul, the New York of America. Having said that, I do not know if Eric Adams will win. It doesn't seem likely, considering that he dropped out. Virginia Attorney General's race is the most expensive AG race in U.S. history. Holy $40 million in ad spending, eclipsing the 2024 North Carolina Attorney General's race by more than $4 million. God damn it, this entire system is so busted, bro. Why not use CNN in the official department? What the is happening to the New York Times website? Oh, Jason Miyares is cooking Jay Jones. Attorney General in North Carolina is always crazy because the winner of that race eventually becomes the next governor. It might be, boys, I'm going to be honest, it might be Jover for Jay Jones. Maybe the liberals weren't as excited at voting for voting for a guy that says some crazy shit, okay, about what to do with the Republicans. We shall see. Lolo, they spent tens of millions to put Hasan clips on the on during the Knicks game. I know. It seemingly has worked, though, because we have 63,000 people in here tonight. Maybe that was just free advertisement for the boy. All right, let's look at Khaki Karnacki.
And what you're looking at in Chesterfield County right now, what you're looking at in Chesterfield County, if I go back in there, this is same-day vote. And that is significant because look how Chesterfield County went in last year's presidential election. Remember, Kamala Harris won Virginia. She won it by about 6 points over Donald Trump last year. This is how she was faring in Chesterfield County. Now, with some of the more Republican-friendly votes that we expect to see out of Chesterfield County now counted and now tallied up, Spanberger is leading by...
Where's Harry Emden?
It's about a 4 or 5 point improvement for Spanberger over what was already statewide a winning margin there for Kamala Harris last year. So that's a very encouraging early sign for Spanberger. Of course, she did represent part of this area in Congress. She might have a little bit of a home field advantage there, but it is consistent so far with a lot of the expectations we had going in. Now, again, we're going to look to see if that continues elsewhere. I'm just clicking to make sure I don't miss a big one right outside D.C. right now. I've been looking for Prince William County right here and Loudoun County right here. Well, that is Loudoun County. Let me just see if we got, wow, there it is. Okay, 3/4 of the vote in Loudoun County. We just got all in one batch. This was the moment last year that the country said Trump had been elected president when we got Loudoun County in. And let's put this in some perspective here because this is the majority of the vote now in this giant county in Virginia. This is, again, one of the largest counties. This was a 16-point margin in last year's presidential election. That was a low margin for Democrats. That was an underperformance that got people's attention. One thing that happened here was Donald Trump did very well in Asian American neighborhoods and Hispanic neighborhoods in particular. This 25-point margin that you're seeing here, obviously a significant improvement for the Democrats from how they did in this county last year. This is also the same margin at 25 points that Donald Trump lost Loudoun County by in 2020, and that's when he was thumped statewide by double digits in Virginia. So we now have two powerful pieces of early evidence in the returns in Virginia, again, returning to the statewide. We've doubled what's in, 10% in right now. You see what that did to Spanberger's advantage statewide. It's now moved double digits. And again, the fact that now in two different parts of the state, major population centers, Chesterfield County and Loudoun County, you're seeing significant vote and you're seeing improvement in Spanberger's numbers over what Democrats did last year.
Let's put some perspective in here, right, Steve? Go back to Loudoun County if you can for our voters there. You got a suburb of D.C. here, right? You have the Doge cuts, you have the shutdown, and you have a Republican candidate that was not endorsed by the...
Wait. Oh, Jay Jones pulls through. Jay Jones back up with new dumps, big beautiful dumps. Ladies and gentlemen, Jay Jones is back up. Can he pull through? Call it. End it. Stop the count. Is Dark Woke back? Jay Jones got the biggest of dumps. It's like watching horses race. Yeah, the 3,000 mules came through, baby. Psst, please remember to make sure and mention again that 5 or more gifted subs are 35% off, and it ends right around 9 EST when the results will be coming in and subs can rewind. True. Yes, the Piker Broadcasting Service is sponsored by you, the viewers, for you, the viewers. If you actually gift subs, 5 gifted subs and over, you get 35% off on those gifted subs. If you want to give the gift of a subscription to a random chatter, so they can also have the gift of being able to rewind. Lexi T, thank you for the 10 gifted subs. Election night is my Super Bowl or RuPaul Drag Race finale. We are such autistic nerds, dude. Oh my God. This community is the most, it's just ridiculous. And then we think that we have any understanding of what the average American feels or votes on when we're in here every day in, day out. Planty Andy. God damn. I keep forgetting to promote the subscriptions. Betting markets are going crazy for Jones. I don't care about the betting markets. Fuck betting markets. I only know that I'm a J. Jonah Jameson head. It's mainly you, dude. I leave really often, go outside. You're hot. Thank you. New dumps coming in. New dumps coming in. Showing Jones with a 4-point margin. Oh my Lord. Holy moly. The dumps are looking good. Big dumps. Big old dumps for Jay Jones. Ladies and gentlemen, let's take a look at Abigail Spanberger, currently trailing far ahead. Obviously has been called already. Wait, what? This doesn't fucking make sense. Did they stop? What? There's more people vote? No. Yeah, okay, this is broken. Holy Toledo, Batman. Holy Toledo, Batman. Jay Jones far ahead with a almost 10-point lead. That's an 8-point margin, by the way, 4 points above 50%. With 17% of the estimated vote total being reported in Virginia. Holy moly, holy Toledo. Jay Jones with a commanding lead. Ladies and gentlemen, boys, girls, and MBs, what the hell is going on? Are liberals invested in a guy, in a quirky guy that may or may not have said some crazy things about their Republican opposition?
This right now, if this stays red, when we get into double digits and higher for this county, then you've got an interesting race. Because if you look at it as you come on in here, you just got some more. Oh, we got Fairfax. So let's just stop and go to Fairfax. Okay. Fairfax just reported that's a huge slice of the vote.
March, if you're in here, so we got to go before they call it.
Now they've confirmed their count and they put him out. So last race was won by a Republican. So Abigail Spanberger, the Democrat, at 73. Let's just go back and look. Terry McAuliffe got 65 in losing. So this year's candidate is running well ahead of the Democrat who lost this race 4 years ago in the most populous county in the state, which happens to be a key test of suburban voters that we can take across the country. This is a place where in 2018, for example, we saw the revolt against Donald Trump in the suburbs, places like that. So let's come back to where we are today, up to 17% now. During this conversation, the votes are coming in. So I'm going to keep an eye on Prince William, which is still red. And then let's just go out. We talked earlier about some of these rural counties. This is right along the West Virginia border, right? 40% of the vote in. The Republican candidate, 78%. That's a big, healthy number in Bath County. I just want to go back in time. 78% for the Republican candidate now, 79%. So that's about matching, right? So this is what you're going to look at. So out in this rural county, the question in the end will also become turnout, right? 1,500 votes for Glenn Youngkin then, 1,500 and change, 600 now. So her percentage is good. The question is, does she get the overall turnout in these rural counties? Let's just pick another one to look at it. You move over here.
Hold that thought one second, John. I'm sorry, but the other John Berman, who is at the Mikey Sherrill campaign headquarters in East Brunswick, New Jersey, he has the senior senator from New Jersey, a guy I've known since he was a city councilman, Cory Booker. John, it's all yours.
Damn, he said, pause it.
All right.
Shut the f*** up.
I am here with the senior senator from the state of New Jersey, Cory Booker. Nice to see you, Senator.
It's great to see you on an exciting night.
And, of course, you were the former mayor of Newark, New Jersey. And the Sherrill campaign is pointing out the fact that turnout has already exceeded 2021 levels in many urban centers. Newark, in Jersey City, in Elizabeth, in Union City. What does that tell you?
It tells me the energy, the excitement is with the Democrats. And really, it's even bigger than that. I think all around New Jersey, people are hurting right now. And this is their first opportunity not only to speak to Mikey Sherrill's qualifications, but to speak against what Donald Trump is doing to our state, where he's widely unpopular.
All right. The way you talked about that is interesting for Democrats in terms of what lessons may be learned from this campaign, because Mikey Sherrill's out on the trail talking about Donald Trump, but largely she does it in terms of the economy and affordability. What do you take from that?
Well, that's exactly what I heard crisscrossing the state. People are outraged that their grocery prices are up, energy costs are up, healthcare prices they're now seeing are going to be skyrocketing. New Jersey is a pocketbook state, and Donald Trump has been hurting our pocketbook. And one guy, Chitterelli, said, I'm 100% MAGA, which is almost an insult to a lot of the people that are struggling in this presidency. And Mikey Sherrill says, I'm going to stand up to him and fight for Jersey and to fight to lower these costs.
What state isn't a pocketbook state, by the way? Like, there is no state in the nation that literally goes, oh yeah, no, the economy doesn't matter to me. Cost of living skyrocketing. That's kind of the point. Okay. That's kind of the point. No, not Montana. There is not a single state in the United States that does not suffer from the economic impact, that doesn't suffer from the economic shocks that doesn't suffer from affordability. When it hits all, it hits all. Y'all are crazy. There is no, that's why we advocate for the things that we advocate for. Every single state in this nation has the exact same considerations, okay? That's why I always say you gotta hit on affordability. You can't expect sincere commentary from a ghoul like Booker. This guy's the output of asking ChatGPT to sound like a politician. I know. But we are the Democratic Party tonight, okay? We are the resilient force. We are the Democrats tonight. United. Tonight we are united. Tomorrow we'll get back to fighting, okay? I mean, Cory Booker, obviously. He sucks, but...
Come together, negotiate with us to do something to lower costs for Americans.
Senator Cory Booker, the senior senator from New Jersey, we do appreciate your time tonight. Thanks very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
All right, Jake.
John Berman, thank you so much. And John King, let's look at the Garden State of New Jersey. What are you going to be looking for when the votes come in 20 minutes?
20 minutes or so, 19 minutes of voting stuff. So, again, this is a blue state. So a lot of Republicans around the country say, so what if the Democrat wins? Well, it's a blue state where Donald Trump did a lot better in 2024 than he did in 2020. Republicans were saying we're making progress. The question is, now that Trump is back in the White House, does that progress continue, or do voters decide, never mind, and go the other way? So you just saw the conversation there. You know, so you start here in Hudson County, which is just across. This is Jersey City. This is Manhattan right here. So you're just across. This is a suburb of New York in many ways. And so Democrats this morning were nervous about turnout. Tonight they feel a lot better about it. They think their voters came out here. Then you move over here to Essex County, which is third in population. That's Newark. That's where Cory Booker was mayor. Again, big...
Chatter said, make sure you don't get so drunk that you end up getting a centrist liberal tattoo on your chest. Yeah, I would. The centrist liberal tattoo of a Totenkopf directly on my chest. Listen, you don't understand. It's one night in Split, Croatia, okay, with the boys on shore leave.
Don't vote other times to come out. Democrats say they did a better job than Republicans in turning out what we call low propensity voters. We will see it.
Bro, spending the night covering this thing, brother. This is my life. This is my life. This is my. This is the most consequent. This is one of the more consequential election nights of my political commentary career. Okay, part of the reason why is because everything sucks so bad. Okay, everything is dog shit. Everything sucks so bad, and Zoran actually represents a really unique moment in American politics. But then I also have a personal involvement, one that has been obviously routinely used and weaponized. And also I have I have a personal investment or a stake in this as someone who is also a 34-year-old Muslim socialist. So it hits me directly at my core. If I'm going to be very personal for a moment, okay? Like, we're talking about a guy who is the peak of like representational politics for someone like myself. Okay? So even if I wasn't there pretty much at the beginning of his primary run, even if I wasn't there, just from afar, if I was watching, I would still feel a sense of closeness to a lot of what I have seen Zoran go through. Damn, didn't know Jay Jones was Muslim? Yeah. Well, Jay Jones too. Jay Jones I feel represented by, because who amongst us hasn't had a gamer moment where they've said something about Republicans that ends up becoming a primary fixture of a campaign, a primary attack ad. That's the difference. That's the reason for why I feel a sense of closeness to Jay Jones. Not to mention, you personally were attacked and became an issue in this election. Law, I know. That's not real. I wasn't a real issue, if we're being honest. And I should have never been an issue, if we're being real. But overall,
is an important place for the campaign. It's become an important political center for New York City. And my colleague Gloria Pazmina is here with me now, and she's got some reporting about what else is significant about Brooklyn. Gloria, this is a part of the city that has a lot of black voters in particular, and it was a place where Cuomo showed strength. What are the Mamdani aides looking for tonight?
Yeah, this is not Mamdani's district. He represented Queens in the state assembly, but Mamdani's campaign views Brooklyn as a very much Mamdani country. The reason for that is because the electorate in Brooklyn has changed so significantly over the last few years. So they're watching Brooklyn closely because the turnout has been so significantly high. More than 400,000 people in Brooklyn alone have voted. In the Mamdani campaign thinks that that is only good news for them. Now, there are parts of Brooklyn, as you said, where Andrew Cuomo, the former governor, actually performed pretty well during the primary. And part of the reason for that is because his historical base, Black New Yorkers, came out and supported him. But in the last few months, the Mamdani campaign has been doing a lot of work to try and drive up those numbers, reaching out to those communities to try and close that gap between the two of them.
This will be an important test for Mamdani because one of the knocks on him coming out of the primary was that it was younger voters, even actually more affluent voters. You saw Upper East Side and Upper West Side where wealthier voters are overrepresented in his support. Can he appeal to more conservative Black voters who frankly might have been a little bit uncertain about whether he had the qualifications to be the mayor of this city? And one of the things tonight, as they are as confident as they are, it's a debate raging inside the campaign about whether or not he needs to have a mandate. And what would a mandate look like here in New York, Gloria?
Absolutely. I think that there's two really important points there. And that the first one that you made is the significance of the Black vote here in New York City. Never before had a primary mayoral candidate won an election without securing the entirety of the city's Black vote. That is just a huge sort of change in how people are voting in New York City. And it says a lot about what New York City looks like in these past few years. We know that Black families, Black people, Black New Yorkers have left New York City in droves in the last few years. In terms of that 50%.
We got flips coming in. Decision Desk headquarters projects Peter Hubbard to win the Public Service Commissioner special election for Georgia's 3rd District. And also, Georgia Public Service Commissioner 2. Decision Desk headquarters projects Alicia Johnson will win the Public Service Commissioner special election.
Right now, incredible amount of interest. Turnout is very high. We're at historic levels, but it is trending as if it could be. A little bit more time for New Yorkers to go to a vote, and we'll keep you updated as that goes on.
12-point shift to the left from 2024.
The final countdown to polls closing in the Garden State of New Jersey. Will the Democrats hold on to the governorship?
Democrats were waiting. Now, obviously, Democrats already have a tendency to overperform on special elections, on weird elections. They have a more activated base in general. But obviously, when you see a 12-point swing in the opposite direction, that spells the amount of discontent that the average voters have for the Republican Party. Okay, this is an important assessment. Very clearly, even if it's like a milquetoast Dem, it doesn't matter. People are trying to use whatever pressure valve they can to showcase their anger, their resentment with the way things are going. Okay? Great. Schumer and Jeffries will take this as an affirmation of their leadership. No. I mean, they will try. They will try their very best. They will try to do whatever the fuck they can to make it seem like their method of just like not doing anything is actually working. Their method of just like cowering and showing their belly is working. But the reality of the matter is the base wants more. Okay? No matter what these guys try to spin out of the performance of tonight, it is obvious to me that the base wants more. Because guess what? They have all these polls. They have exit polls that show that they still have a lot of discontent for the Democratic Party as a whole. You understand? They are not comfortable with the Democrats. They actually hate the fact that the Democrats are seemingly too comfortable with the way things are going. So clearly, especially when you look at the overall approval rating of the Democratic Party that is under water, okay, you have to remember Chuck Schumer's shock collar, "I'm a good leader, shut up." This is a funny username. It is obvious that liberals are pissed off and they hate the Republicans, but they low-key kind of hate the Democrats for not doing enough to attack the Republicans in general. So that's where we're at right now, and that's where we have been at, okay? And I think even stuff like Jay Jones currently leading in spite of the stuff that came out about him in his private correspondence and the text messages. That's pretty wild, dude. That's a pretty wild situation. You got, Jay Jones outrunning Kamala and Loden. I'm confused as to what side you're on. Brother, I'm on the side of the working class, okay? That's the side I'm on. That is so funny, though, that there are still people who don't understand, like, my politics. They're just like, they're so confused by it. They're like, what the f? Loudon, sorry. Loudon. To be fair, Loudon may not really f with black people, but Jay Jones is also black. Nice bathroom. So how does that work? Jay Jones is... What's good? Not only is Jay Jones Jay Jones is black and says some crazy shit. In any case, for those of you who don't know, Nice Bathroom is black, okay? Nice Bathroom is black. He is one of my black moderators, okay? Calm down. He is making a joke before you get mad at him and therefore of me as well. Get mad at me as well. But yes, Marchie Poo is here. He's setting up the backpack. Are we all... Look at the batteries, by the way. I don't know. They're all primed and charged and ready to go, I hope. Yeah. Anyway, where was I? What was I going to talk about? Oh, yeah. We are going to move to the election. We are going to go to the Zoran election party. I will be streaming the Zoran election party. Hopefully there will be a victory that we will be able to stream at the Zoran election party. I am incredibly nervous. Because I'm not, dude, I've been burned. I've been burned a million times over. What do you mean, why? That's like, it's not even a question. Like, it's just, I'm not going to, dude, I have been hurt.
Oh, you mean like
so bad?
You're scared of like Andrew clutching it?
Yes, brother. That's not even a joke.
Oh, no, I feel you on that.
No, that's what it is. I've been burned so many times. Like, I am not going to, until I can taste the victory, I will not be confident and you know, there's no way. And then it's also, it doesn't even end there, because then you have the difficulties of governance. There's another issue there as well. Concise 7-second clip to prove that it is indeed Ryan Grimm.
Oh, it is Ryan Grimm. Drive up those
is that
numbers.
Ryan Grimm? Oh my God. I scoped out that dome. God damn. That's my man right there. Oh, the third one is dead. What? Oh, is that tonight? Am I going to be up at that hour? Jesus Christ.
No.
Oh, no. One of them didn't get charged. We can charge it there. Just bring it. Because, like, I'm sure people have, like, an iPhone charger or some shit. Hold on. All right. While you're prepping it, I'll just turn this on. And you need the camera
Unpopular
and stuff, right?
he is in this state of New Jersey, as seen by the exit polls, which David Chalian has been weighing out. Given how unpopular he is, the Sherrill campaign thinks it was a mistake for the Republican to run close to the sitting president, Jake.
All right, John Berman in East Brunswick, New Jersey. CNN's Arlette Saenz is in Bridgewater, New Jersey, at the Chitterelli campaign headquarters. Arlette, what are you hearing from the campaign just ahead of the polls closing in about 5 minutes?
That's fine.
Well, Jake, Republican nominee Jack Chitterelli and his campaign are bracing for a close race, with one GOP official telling me they expect this will be as tight as a tick. Now, what Chitterelli is hoping to do here is really eke out a win in the state after President Donald Trump made significant gains here back in 2024. One senior campaign official told me that they were really looking for a strong push in these final hours of voting tonight. They are hoping to run up Republican numbers in places like Ocean County and Monmouth County, as well as other parts of southern New Jersey. But
to interrupt you, I apologize, Arlette. We can now make a major projection in the Virginia governor's race. CNN projects that former Democratic Congresswoman and CIA case officer Abigail Spanberger will
we already
be elected
know, bro.
the
You're
governor
late. Decision
of
Desk
Virginia,
did it first.
defeating the Commonwealth's sitting lieutenant governor, Republican Winsome Earl Sears. Abigail Spanberger will become the very first woman governor in the history of the Commonwealth of Virginia. Again, CNN projects that Abigail Spanberger will be elected governor of Virginia. CNN's Jeff Zeleny is at the Spanberger campaign headquarters in Richmond, Virginia, the capital of Virginia. And Jeff, it must be pretty jubilant there as far as I can see from behind you.
Jake, it definitely was. This crowd here just learned moments ago that the projections are calling this race for Abigail Spanberger. Now, that is not necessarily a surprise because they were confident going into this. But what they are seeing in the particular counties is really giving them a bit of a lift. Loudoun County, for example, right outside Washington, D.C., that is going very strong for her. And you can hear the crowd behind me now as they see more of these numbers come in. Abigail Spanberger represented the Richmond area when she was elected to Congress back in 2018. She won a red seat. She used really this moderate Democratic message, but also had some tough medicine for Democrats who she believed were...
It's crazy, but it turns out, okay, when you fire when you fire a percentage of the federal government workforce with Doge cuts, okay, and then you also starve them for the last month, people get really pissed off and they don't want to vote for a representative that is from your party. I know, it's a really unique predicament. It's crazy. It turns out when you do shit like that, people respond negatively to your party. I know it's crazy. I know. It's a crazy expectation. Why wouldn't these guys just appreciate that we're starving them?